Coming back to local news, looking into updates of the ongoing protest by the opposition at the Republic Square, MNBC newscaster present at the scene just reported that 2 had been taken into police custody. The protesters are demanding the release of Chief Judge Abdullah Muhammad and the deputy leader of Qawmi Party. The protesters are also demanding the police to abide the constitution and to respect the freedom of media in the country. The MNBC newscaster also said that the protesters have now reached the fish market area, while some had thrown the police roadblocks into Inner Harbour. Foreign Ministry says Criminal Court Chief Judge Abdullah Muhammad was detained to investigate allegations of corruption and the abuse of his authority. Meanwhile, some courts, commissions and political parties are condemning the government's action. The Foreign Ministry today released a statement saying that the Criminal Court Judge Abdullah Muhammad had been arrested for corruption, in particular for allowing his judicial decisions to be determined by political and personal affiliations and interests. The statement says his repeated failure to comply with constitutional requirements regarding the individual integrity and competence of judges has been compounded by the failure of normal constitutional checks and balances to hold him accountable to the society he is supposed to serve. Foreign Minister Ahmad Nasim today said the government of Maldives fully supports and will always protect judicial independence. He further said judicial independence, however, does not mean that judges are above the law and can behave as they see fit, contrary to the laws of the land, and that the judge is a citizen of the Maldives, no more or less than any other citizen. He further said, as the Bangalore principle made clear, judicial independence is rather a responsibility and a means to ensure that judges are able to decide cases based only on the law and facts of the case before them, without fear or favor. The statement says, as the International Commission of Jurists made clear following the recent assessment of the state of the Maldives judiciary, judicial independence is a responsibility requiring accountability, a point clearly reflected in the Constitution of the Maldives. This accountability includes a requirement of individual competence and integrity by judges in their proceedings, including issues of actual or perceived bias, prejudice or conflict of interest in ethical behavior outside of office, requiring continuous responsibility to demonstrate high moral character. The ministry says, unfortunately, it is clear in contravention of the Bangalore principles that Abdullah Muhammad considers judicial independence to mean that he can do whatever he likes and can act with total impunity. The 2008 Constitution empowers the Judicial Service Commission as the independent guardian of the values of competence and integrity, and thus of individual accountability of judges. The ministry further says, sadly, the JSC has not been able to fulfill its constitutional task of holding judges like Abdullah Muhammad, who is representative of a small minority of judges who abuse their position to protect themselves and their political allies to account, and for a long time the JSC is itself dominated by judges and opposition politicians, refused to take any disciplinary actions against judges. More recently, the JSC did try to take action against Abdullah Muhammad over allegations of political bias after he appeared on TV saying this government is a dying government, but the JSC's move was overturned by Abdullah Muhammad's allies in the lower courts. The statement also says, with the JSC unwilling or unable to act, responsibility to rein in judges who break the law should fall to higher judicial authorities. It further says senior judges, however, have proved time and again that they are not willing to take action against one of their own, destroying in the process public confidence in the judiciary. The ministry further said, as the ultimate guarantor of the Constitution, the President could no longer sit by and watch as a minority of judges destroy public trust in the judiciary and make a mockery of the laws of the country. The Foreign Ministry said Abdullah Muhammad arrest is not a move against the judiciary of the Maldives, but rather against an individual who has repeatedly broken the law and who should be held accountable for his actions. High Court and several lower courts say the scheduled trials for the day are put on hold temporarily. Today's work will be conducted at a later date. A statement issued by the High Court says that the scheduled work is currently put on hold due to an emergency faced by the country's judiciary. An official from the Criminal Court says their work is suspended after a decision by its judges following the detention of their chief judge. Analysts say the spontaneous halt in the work of judiciary reflects the state of political influence in the system. Judicial analysts say the acts of the Chief Judge of the Criminal Court, Abdullah Muhammad, and followed-up reaction by judges would damage the credibility of the country's judiciary.